Welcome to the second episode of our series, Unveiling and Solving Ghostly Mysteries. Get ready to embark on this journey through the unknown, where we investigate and unravel the darkest and most haunting secrets of the paranormal world. Let us introduce the team of paranormal investigators who will guide you through these spine-chilling adventures. We are the Sephiroth team, formed by four longtime friends, united by the mission to protect the living and free the lost souls. John Anderson, the skeptic of the group, always in search of rational answers, he balances the team with his critical thinking and logical approach. Carla Thompson, endowed with a unique spiritual sensitivity, Carla is the group's mediator. Her empathy and ability to hear spiritual whispers make her essential in communicating with the beyond. Luke Johnson, practical and rational, Luke brings a technical and down-to-earth perspective to investigations. His knowledge of technology and scientific methods helps keep the team focused and organized. Anna Williams, intuitive and courageous. Anna possesses mediumistic abilities that connect her deeply with the spiritual world. Her visions and intuitions guide the group at critical moments. We appreciate your comments and likes. Please subscribe to our channel and also follow our Sephiroth Team podcast. In the heart of the city, an old museum harbors dark and inexplicable secrets. When paranormal phenomena start terrorizing employees and visitors, the Sephiroth team is called in to investigate. What they find is a tale of tragedy, revenge, and restless spirits that haunt every corner of the building. The Wyndham Museum of History was an architectural gem built in the late 19th century. Its exhibits housed rare artifacts, historical documents, and priceless works of art. However, in recent months, the museum had gained a sinister reputation. Visitors reported feeling a strange presence, hearing whispers from nowhere, and on some nights, seeing shadowy figures roaming the halls. The situation reached a critical point when a night guard mysteriously disappeared during his shift. Desperate, the museum's director, Dr. Michael Harris, decided to call in the Sephiroth team. John, Carla, Luke, and Anna knew this would be one of the most challenging missions they had ever faced. "We need to be ready for anything," John said as the friends gathered at the museum entrance. "This place has an energy unlike anything we've ever encountered." Dr. Harris greeted them with a worried expression. "Thank you for coming so quickly. The museum is closed to the public until we resolve this. We're losing money, and more importantly, my staff's safety is at risk." "Let's start from the beginning," Carla suggested. "Can you tell us exactly what has been happening?" Dr. Harris led them to a small meeting room where they had set up security cameras and audio recorders. "It all started about 6 months ago," he explained. "Staff began reporting strange things. Lights flickering for no reason, doors opening and closing on their own, and a constant feeling of being watched. Then, a month ago, one of the guards, Tom Reed, disappeared. The police investigated but found nothing." John reviewed the security footage while Carla, Luke, and Anna watched intently. In one video, they saw a dark figure moving quickly through the empty halls. "Looks like we have something here," John said, turning up the volume. "Let's start our investigation in the West Wing, where Tom disappeared." As they entered the West Wing, they immediately felt a change in the atmosphere. The air was colder and denser, and an unsettling feeling hung in the air. "Something is definitely wrong here," Luke said, adjusting his energy measurement equipment. Anna, always sensitive to spiritual presences, closed her eyes and tried to connect with the environment. "There's a very strong energy here," she said. "I feel sadness, anger, and something else, a sense of vengeance." While exploring the West Wing, they found a locked room that seemed to be used for storing uncatalogued items. Dr. Harris unlocked the door, revealing shelves filled with dusty boxes and old objects. At the back of the room, a pale, spectral figure appeared, floating in the air. The friends froze, watching the apparition. "Who are you?" Anna asked, trying to communicate. The figure did not respond but pointed to one of the boxes in the corner before disappearing. "Let's see what we have here," John said, opening the indicated box. Inside, they found an old diary, its cover worn by time. "This looks important." Carla flipped through the pages of the diary, reading aloud. This diary belonged to Eleanor Carter, one of the original curators of the museum. She describes strange events happening here since the museum's inauguration. Objects disappearing, inexplicable sounds, and, my God, she mentions a curse. What does it say about the curse? Luke asked, intrigued. Eleanor believed that one of the artifacts brought to the museum was cursed, an ancient Egyptian amulet, supposedly bearing the curse of a pharaoh. She tried to warn the museum directors at the time, but no one believed her. Shortly after, Eleanor mysteriously disappeared. This explains a lot, John said. If the curse is real, we need to find that amulet and figure out how to break it. They decided to search for the amulet in the museum's old collections. Dr. Harris guided them to the Egyptian section, where a variety of ancient artifacts were displayed. While searching, Anna felt a strong presence and led the group to a showcase in the corner of the room. There, they found the amulet mentioned in Eleanor's diary. "This is it," Carla said, examining the amulet. "But how do we break the curse?" "We need to perform a purification ritual," Anna suggested. "But we need more information. Let's look for more in Eleanor's diary." Back in the meeting room, they continued reading the diary. Eleanor described a detailed ritual to break the curse, involving specific ingredients and reciting ancient incantations at a particular alignment of the stars. "We're in luck," Luke said, looking at the night sky. "Tonight, we'll have the necessary alignment." They prepared the necessary ingredients: sacred herbs, candles, and a bowl of purified water. They set up a protective circle in the Egyptian exhibit room and placed the amulet at the center. Anna and Carla began reciting the incantations from the diary, while John and Luke watched closely, ready for anything. As the ritual progressed, the temperature in the room dropped drastically. A mist began to form around the circle, and the candles flickered violently. Suddenly, Eleanor's spectral figure appeared again, watching with an approving gaze. "We're on the right track," Anna said, feeling a connection with Eleanor's spirit. "We need to keep going." Suddenly, an invisible force tried to disrupt the ritual, causing a wave of energy that knocked objects off the shelves and extinguished the candles. "We can't stop now," Carla shouted. "Keep reciting." With renewed effort, Anna and Carla recited the incantations more intensely. The mist around the circle began to dissipate, and the amulet started to glow brightly. They felt the presence of something evil trying to resist, but they remained firm. Finally, with one last effort, Anna uttered the final words of the ritual. The amulet exploded in a blinding light, and the mist vanished completely. The temperature in the room returned to normal, and the oppressive feeling disappeared. "We did it," John said, breathing a sigh of relief. "The curse is broken." Eleanor, now with a serene expression, appeared one last time. "Thank you," she said before disappearing in a gentle light. The friends felt a sense of peace and accomplishment. They knew they had freed not only the spirits of the museum, but also solved the mystery that had haunted the place for decades. The next day, the museum reopened its doors to the public, with no more signs of paranormal activity. Dr. Harris expressed his deep gratitude to the Sephiroth team, and the city of Wyndham could finally breathe easy. "That was one of our toughest missions," John said as the friends prepared to leave the city. "But we did it." Carla smiled. "Eleanor can finally rest in peace. We did the right thing." "On to the next," Luke said. "Who knows what other mysteries await us?" And so, the Sephiroth team set off in search of new challenges, knowing they were ready to face whatever the supernatural had in store for them. The story of the Wyndham Museum would be told for many years, not just as a ghost story, but as a testament to the courage and dedication of four friends who faced the unknown and emerged victorious. The night winds still whispered ancient tales in the trees around the museum, but now they were whispers of peace, gratitude, and relief. The spirits that once haunted the place had finally found rest, thanks to the bravery and determination of the Sephiroth team. As the group walked toward the horizon, they knew this would not be the last time they faced the supernatural. With their skills and connections strengthened, they were ready for anything the future held. Time would pass, but the legend of the haunted museum and the story of the Sephiroth team would continue to inspire and haunt, reminding everyone that even in the deepest darkness, the light of courage and friendship can shine brightly, dispelling any shadow. In the small town of Silverbrook, Stories about the dark forest were passed down from generation to generation. Tales of mysterious lights, whispering voices, and inexplicable disappearances scared the residents. But the true threat was about to be revealed. When strange phenomena begin occurring again, the Sephiroth team decides to investigate and uncover the dark secrets of the forest. It was a gray afternoon when John, Carla, Luke, and Anna arrived at the dark forest. The air was heavy and damp, filled with a sense of mystery and danger. The town of Silverbrook, located nearby, was in turmoil over recent disappearances and reports of strange lights coming from the forest. "We need to be prepared for anything," John said, adjusting his backpack full of paranormal investigation equipment. "This forest has an ancient and dark history." The friends followed a narrow path, with tall, dense trees blocking most of the sunlight. The atmosphere was oppressive, and the silence was only broken by the occasional rustle of leaves and distant sounds of wildlife. "I've read about this forest," Carla said. "They say that long ago, before the town was founded, this place was considered sacred by an indigenous tribe. They believed the forest was inhabited by guardian spirits who protected the land, but something must have happened for that protection to turn into a curse." Luke, always the practical one, was analyzing the terrain with his equipment. "There's a strange energy here, something I can't quite identify. We need to keep moving forward and find the source of these phenomena." Anna, sensitive to the spiritual world, felt a presence watching them. "They're here," she whispered, looking around cautiously. "The spirits of the forest. We need to be careful." As they advanced, the path became denser and the daylight faded. Suddenly, a bright, pulsating light appeared among the trees. "There!" John exclaimed, pointing in the direction of the light. "Let's see what it is." Approaching the light, they found a clearing. In the center, there was an ancient stone altar covered in moss and strange symbols. The light emanated from a floating sphere above the altar, pulsating with an almost hypnotic energy. "This is incredible," Luke said, adjusting his equipment to measure the energy from the sphere. "I've never seen anything like this before." Suddenly, the sphere exploded in a blinding light, and the friends were thrown to the ground. When the light dissipated, they saw translucent figures emerging from the darkness of the forest. They were ancient spirits, with faces of sorrow and anger. "You are not welcome here," said one of the spirits, its voice echoing in the clearing. "This land is sacred. Your presence disturbs our rest." Carla, trying to communicate with the spirits, asked, "Why are you trapped here? What happened to this forest?" The eldest spirit responded, "We were the guardians of this land for centuries, but we were betrayed by those who sought power. They used the forest for dark rituals, corrupting the energy that once sustained us. Now we are condemned to wander without peace." Anna felt the spirits' pain and knew they needed to be freed. "We must help them. We need to undo the corruption that still plagues this place." The friends decided to seek more information in the town. They went to the local library and found old records about the forest. They discovered that over 100 years ago, a group of settlers performed dark rituals to gain power and wealth. These rituals corrupted the forest, trapping the guardian spirits and creating a curse that affected everyone who came near. "We need to find a way to purify the forest and free these spirits," John said, determined. "But how do we undo such an ancient curse?" Carla found an old grimoire that described a purification ritual. "Here it is. We need certain ingredients and must perform the ritual at the stone altar." The friends spent the following days gathering the necessary ingredients: rare herbs, water from a pure source, and candles made of natural wax. They prepared meticulously, knowing any mistake could be fatal. On the night of the ritual, the forest was darker and quieter than ever. The friends returned to the clearing and began preparing the altar. The candles were lit, and ancient symbols were drawn on the ground around the altar. "We're ready," John said, taking a deep breath. "Let's begin." Carla and Anna recited the words from the grimoire, while Luke and John stood guard, feeling the increasing presence of the spirits. As the ritual progressed, the forest began to vibrate with an intense energy. The spirits gathered around the clearing, watching with anxious eyes. Suddenly, an invisible force tried to disrupt the ritual. Strong winds began to blow, extinguishing some candles and lifting leaves and branches. "We can't stop now," Carla shouted, holding the grimoire firmly. "Keep going." John, Carla, and Anna focused on the words of the ritual, reciting them with more intensity. The sphere of light reappeared, pulsating more strongly with each word spoken. The clearing was now illuminated by an almost blinding light, and the spirits began to rise from the ground, their expressions of pain and sorrow slowly transforming into relief and gratitude. Finally, with one last effort, Anna pronounced the final words of the ritual. The sphere of light exploded in a burst of pure energy, and the spirits vanished, their souls finally freed from the curse. The clearing fell silent, but this time, it was a silence of peace. The oppression that once permeated the forest had disappeared, replaced by a sense of tranquility and renewal. The friends, exhausted but relieved, knew they had completed their mission. "They're free," Anna said, feeling a gentle breeze caress her face. Finally at peace. Back in town, the Sephiroth team was welcomed as heroes. The residents of Silverbrook, grateful, knew the forest was now safe. The mayor of the town, in a gesture of gratitude, presented a plaque to the group, acknowledging their efforts and bravery. John, Carla, Luke, and Anna felt more united than ever. The experience in the dark forest had strengthened their bonds and reaffirmed their purpose. They knew this was just one of many missions they would face, but they were ready for any challenge. As they prepared to leave Silverbrook, Carla found one last note in the grimoire. "There are more places like this," she read aloud. "Places where evil was invoked and souls are trapped. We need to continue our journey." John nodded. "We're ready. Let's bring peace to these places and help those who cannot help themselves." And so, the Sephiroth team set off for their next mission, knowing that together they could face any danger and uncover any mystery. The dark forest now stood as a place of remembrance and victory, a testament to the group's courage and determination. As they bid farewell to Silverbrook, they felt renewed and determined to continue their fight against the supernatural. They knew each mission would be different, each challenge more dangerous, but they were ready to face the unknown. The legend of the dark forest would forever be etched in their minds, not just as a horror story, but as a reminder of their courage and ability to overcome fear. And as they moved on to the next mystery, they knew they were making a difference, one liberated soul at a time. With every step, the Sephiroth team demonstrated that true strength came from unity, friendship, and an unwavering will to face what many considered impossible. And so, their journey continued, with new stories and challenges awaiting them. In a world where the supernatural and the unknown were just another frontier to be explored. In the months that followed, John, Carla, Luke, and Anna faced new challenges and mysteries. Each experience made them stronger and wiser. In every town they visited, they left a trail of hope and redemption, helping lost souls and freeing haunted places. The Sephiroth team's reputation grew, and with it, recognition of their hard work and dedication. But the Dark Forest, with its tragic history and final redemption, would always hold a special place in their hearts. It was there that they proved to themselves and the world that with courage, determination, and friendship, they could face any adversity. And if there were mysteries to be unraveled and souls to be freed, the Sephiroth team would continue their journey, united by a greater purpose and the strength of their unbreakable bonds. On top of an isolated hill, an old Victorian mansion stirs curiosity and fear in the small town of Ravenswood. It's said that the house is cursed, with supernatural events occurring for over a century. When a series of inexplicable disappearances begins to plague the town, the Sephiroth team decides to investigate. It was a gray and rainy afternoon when John, Carla, Luke, and Anna arrived at the mansion on the hill. The surrounding vegetation was neglected, and the mansion, with its broken windows and worn walls, emanated an aura of abandonment and despair. As they crossed the rusty gate, they felt an intense cold, as if they had crossed an invisible barrier. "This house has a strange energy," Carla murmured, shivering. "It's like something or someone doesn't want us here." Entering the mansion was difficult, but John managed to force the old wooden door open. As they stepped inside, the door slammed shut behind them with a deafening bang. John tried to open it again, but it was locked. "Looks like we're stuck here," he said, trying to stay calm. The first room they found was filled with furniture covered in white sheets. Each step they took made the wooden floor creak, and the echo resonated through the dark corridors. Anna began to feel a presence watching them. "Does anyone else feel that?" she asked. The others nodded silently. While exploring, they found a dusty library. Old books and yellowed papers were scattered everywhere. It was there that Carla found a diary on a high shelf. "Looks like it belonged to Lady Evelyn," she said, starting to read. The diary narrated the life of Evelyn, a young noblewoman who fell in love with Thomas, the mansion's gardener. Their love was forbidden and condemned by society at the time. Desperate to be together, they made a dark pact. But something went terribly wrong, and both died tragically. As Carla read, Anna felt a chill down her spine. Looking at the library door, she saw a shadow pass by quickly. "Someone's here," she whispered, alarmed. The friends followed the shadow through the corridors, where they began to see apparitions of Evelyn and Thomas. The spirits seemed to be repeating their final moments of life in an endless cycle of pain. The friends followed the apparitions, which led them to a room on the second floor. There, they found an old music box, still functioning. When Carla opened it, the soft and melancholic melody filled the room, and the apparitions of Evelyn and Thomas became clearer. "They're trying to show us something," Anna said, focusing on the translucent figures. Through gestures and quick visions, the spirits showed the friends the tragic events that led to their deaths. Evelyn had been poisoned by a family member who disapproved of her relationship with Thomas. Desperate, Thomas tried to save her but succumbed to the same poison, administered by someone who wanted to ensure they were never together. Their spirits were trapped in the mansion, unable to find peace. To free the spirits trapped in the mansion, the friends knew they needed to complete the ritual that Evelyn and Thomas had started. In the mansion's basement, they found an old altar covered in esoteric symbols. The atmosphere was dense and suffocating. "We have to do this right," John said, feeling the weight of responsibility. With the instructions from the diary, they began to recreate the ritual, using candles, salt, and reciting ancient words. During the ritual, the mansion began to tremble. The apparitions of Evelyn and Thomas appeared, their faces contorted in pain and despair. "Help us!" they cried, their voices echoing through the room. Anna, guided by her spiritual sensitivity, managed to stay calm and continued the ritual. An invisible force tried to interrupt them, but John, Carla, and Luke formed a circle around the altar, protecting Anna as she completed the ritual. With one last effort, Anna pronounced the final words of the ritual. A bright light filled the room, and the spirits of Evelyn and Thomas faded away, their expressions now of relief and gratitude. The mansion returned to a strange calm. The doors opened, and the friends were able to leave. However, what they found outside the mansion was even more surprising. The missing people, presumed dead, were found around the hill, all in a state of trance but alive. Each of them reported vivid and terrifying dreams about the mansion and its spirits. With the story of Evelyn and Thomas now known, the Ravenswood community could find peace. The mansion on the hill, though still mysterious, no longer posed a threat. For the Sephiroth team, this was another mission accomplished, but the memory of the tormented spirits and the dark ritual would stay with them forever. Each member of the group left the experience with a new understanding of the spiritual world and the invisible forces that govern the places the living inhabits. John, always the skeptic, gained a deeper respect for the unexplained. Carla, with her spiritual sensitivity, felt more connected than ever to the world of spirits. Luke, the rational one, recognized that not everything can be explained by logic, and Anna, the medium, understood her mission to help lost souls find peace better. After leaving the mansion, the Sephiroth team decided to meet at Anna's house to discuss the experience. They knew they needed to process what they had witnessed and decide their next steps. Anna's house, cozy and safe, seemed like the ideal place to reflect on the mission. "I can still feel their presence," Anna said as she served tea to her friends. "Not in a scary way, but like a gentle breeze, a whisper." "I'm glad we were able to free them," Carla said. "But it makes me wonder, how many other souls are trapped like Evelyn and Thomas? Probably more than we can imagine, John replied. And each one of them has a story, a reason. Our mission is to help these souls find peace. Luke, who was staring at the fire in the fireplace, turned to the group. We need to be prepared for what's to come. Each mission will be different, and the dangers will be real. We have to strengthen our skills and work as a team. The group agreed to continue their studies and training. John began to deepen his knowledge of protection and exorcism rituals. Carla dedicated herself to better understanding the signs and messages from beyond. Luke honed his investigative techniques and use of technology in paranormal cases. Anna continued to develop her mediumistic abilities, connecting with the spiritual world in increasingly profound ways. A week later, a news report on the radio caught the group's attention. A series of inexplicable events was occurring in the dark forest near the neighboring town of Silverbrook. Reports of strange lights, mysterious noises, and disappearances began to surface. The residents were in panic, and the local authorities were without answers. We need to investigate, John said, turning off the radio. It looks like the dark forest is asking for our help. I agree, Carla said, but we need to be prepared. Something tells me this mission will be even more challenging. Anna, feeling an intense vibration, nodded. The dark forest holds ancient secrets. Let's find out what's happening and bring light to the darkness. The Sephiroth team gathered once more, ready to face the unknown. They knew each mission would be a battle against forces many prefer to ignore, but they were determined to continue their journey, helping those who couldn't defend themselves and freeing souls trapped in limbo. The next morning, equipped with everything they needed, they set off for Silverbrook. The winding road, surrounded by tall and dense trees, seemed a forewarning of what was to come. As they drove, they felt the tension rise, but also an unwavering determination. They were ready to face the dark forest and uncover the mysteries it hid. Upon arrival, they were greeted by a frightened but hopeful community. The residents looked at the Sephiroth team with admiration and expectation, knowing these four friends were their last hope to bring peace and safety back to the town. Let's start with the location where the disappearances were reported, Luke suggested, looking at the forest map. We need to understand the pattern of events and find any clues that lead us to the source of the problem. As they entered the dark forest, the feeling of being watched intensified. The air was heavy, and every noise seemed amplified. But the Sephiroth team was prepared, united by a greater purpose and the friendship that strengthened them. They moved forward into the darkness, ready to face whatever was lurking. They knew this would be another test of courage, skill, and faith. And they were determined to prove that, together, they could overcome any challenge and help those in need, bringing light to the darkest places in the world. The mystery of the house on the hill is a story of courage, friendship, and overcoming fears. The Sephiroth team, with their unique combination of skills and determination, faces supernatural forces to free lost souls and bring peace to haunted places. Their journey is a constant battle against the unknown, but also proof that unity and willpower can overcome even the greatest horrors.